welcome back to the channel. This is day number 2 of ripping the car to bits to do the turbo upgrade. If you've seen yesterday's, we rounded a bolt on the manifold, 1 out of the 6. The rest of them have come loose, but I've had to order some of these nut removal tool things off Amazon. I've had to wait for them to get here, but they came today, so I'm going to attempt to wind this bolt off, take the manifold off, and then we're going to look at putting mine on and making sure it fits, because I'm not 100% it will. Right, quick update. This is the manifold, these are the bolts. Obviously, you can see that is the roundy one. If you don't have some of these tools, get some. I've literally wound it twice. This was so round, I just had to do this one. I'll try and get that back on. There. Oh, you can see it. It literally just turns it off. That is ridiculous. It might be. There you go, hand tight. That took literally a couple of turns and it's off. So, well worth investing in some of them. If you do want some, I'll leave a link in the description for where I got these off Amazon, and they came next day. So, okay, well, actually winding the whole bolt out, so I'm going to have to try and get the nut off somehow, but at least it's out. Right, bolts are out of that side of the manifold. The other side is here. These bolts are where it connects to the up pipe. No, that's a lie, I just lied. These bolts are where the up pipe is. That goes up to the turbo, obviously. So I need to take these out. The manifold will slide off, and then I can get to the bottom of the up pipe, take that off the turbo, and then turbo's ready for coming out. Right, I've had to go to plan B. I can't get the bolts off from down there because of the heat shield, and it's all rusted on, and I can't bother snapping bolts off again to try and get it. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3 bolts there, and then there's 2 there. I think that's all the bolts that hold the up pipe on. So I'm hoping I can take them off, and then the whole manifold and up pipe will drop in one. So we'll try and crack these off and then see what happens. That was surprisingly easy. They've all cracked off. As you can see, they're all very loose. So I'll take all these off, and then I'll see if that is them all, and I can drop the manifold in one, and then we'll have a way up and see if we can get ours on. So all the bolts are out of the up pipe to the turbo, so the turbo is completely unbolted. There's actually nothing holding the turbo in apart from this manifold and a few lines, so I've just got to be careful when I do take this off that it doesn't snap any of the oil feeds or anything to the turbo. I've just got these bolts to wind off, and that's the manifold off and the up pipe, and then we'll go into removing the turbo. Okay, so the manifold, as you can see, is unbolted from the block, but you see the up pipe go in up there. With the manifold on, you physically can't get the angle to get it out the gap because the gap's so small. So you can see where the ratchet is. I'm gonna have to attempt to unbolt the up pipe off the manifold and take them out in 2 pieces. I've got 1 bolt loose, which is this bottom one, but that top one's really hard to get anything in. Right, manifold's out, but up pipe, I can remember this off my last one, now I'm doing it. It's physically, that flange is too big to fit past the block. So what you can do is unbolt an engine mount and just jack the engine up quietly, and it just gives it enough space to be able to do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the turbo off instead, because you can take it out from uphill if the turbo's off, and as the turbo's coming off anyway, I'm just going to do it that way around. So we'll move on to taking the turbo off. Right, we're back to the top. Turbo removal time. This bolt, oil feed, that needs to come off. Then you see these little hoses, they need to come off. That hose needs to come off, which is obviously bolted down there, but I'm going to leave it on that turbo, swap everything over onto the new one later on. And I think there's a water feed on the bottom side, if I can remember. And obviously taking the inlet intake pipe off, which is just a little 10mm. So I'm going to take all that off, and then we are ready to take the turbo out. Right, just a quick recap. If you are doing this yourself, things to take off: you've got that water pipe, bottom of the turbo, you had your little T-pieces we saw before, you've got your water line from the top, which was this pipe, you've got a water line on the side, which is this pipe with that around it. I've put a bolt in, stop water leaking out, it's gone everywhere. Oh, and the oil line off the top. And then it's everything. That's out. You can see them all. Water. I think that's water, and obviously oil. And that is the old turbo off. Finally, it's off. Manifold's off. Or pipe's off. Turbo is out. You can see this is the new manifold. I haven't finished heat wrapping it. I'm going to take the heat wrap off because it might need some adjustments, and I want to redo it anyway. So I'm going to take it off and test fit it on the car. I might do that tonight. Here's a new turbo. As you can see, I've got to change the water pipes over, and oil feed that needs to go into here, because yeah, it didn't come with that. So I'm going to clean them up nice and change them over. But yeah, I think that'll probably do for tonight. It's been a couple of hours. I need to get some food, and we're going to pick this up again tomorrow, where we're going to test fit the manifold and maybe have a look at test fitting the turbo. So thanks for watching, and make sure you tune in tomorrow. Peace out.